if more people would just be honest. Just be honest. You want to be an ethical, non-monogamous? Just say that. Just say that because there are women who actually would like that. But here's the problem. You're not going to come in the door and say that because you know you're not going to have the experience that you truly want with that woman. So you're going to lie to disarm her so that you can be able to have your way and she can't have her way. And that's what makes dating trash to me is when people show up as something other than themselves and people misrepresent their true intentions, therefore disarming the other person. Now you are stealing time, stealing emotions from that other person that you would not have gotten had you just been honest from day one.
Welcome back to another episode of Desired Dialogues. I wanted to have a conversation about relationships. What do people actually expect and desire in the dating scene? And are there gender wars going on? Who could we talk to about this? Someone with an opinion, someone that is funny and has been outside talking about the things. Jessie Woo, not only is she a comedian, actress, and musician, she is also the media personality. Like, she has so much personality, plenty to share. There's so much that we can experience with her. So here we go. I do like to start off with a feelings check-in. What's coming up for you emotionally around even having the start of the conversation?
Maybe anxiety, maybe anxiousness. Anxiousness. I see
Yeah.
maybe some type of way. Maybe some type of way. And I think some of these feelings are not just for me, but I think sometimes these feelings I kind of internalize them based on like things I see
Yeah.
others go through when it comes to dating relationships. Yeah.
A year ago, you were single.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'm wanting to know, what is the reality of dating versus the fiction of what is said online?
Yeah.
Specifically because there's so much stuff about like how it's trash. It's all trash. It's
Yeah.
only trash. There's nothing to be found outside but trash.
Yeah.
So what would you say is sort of like the reality from whatever is being spun in the online matrix?
I think a good amount of what's said online is truth.
Mm.
But I think that what's often not said about dating when you're looking at online content is how beautiful dating is. Dating is a beautiful thing. It is a fun thing. It is an adventurous thing. It
Mhm.
is like it's a roller coaster and not roller coasters are not necessarily bad. It's an adrenaline kick. It's an ego booster sometimes. Sometimes it's not, you know. But I think that there are very, very good aspects of dating if you're doing it from a place of pureness. I think like you're just
Mhm.
out there trying to get to know people, trying to find your somebody. I think if you just have good intentions, it can really be a beautiful experience. Yes, bad things happen, trash things happen. But for the most part, I think that people underestimate how dope dating really is.
I don't think anyone has ever expressed it as being dope. Now, don't get me like, I'm trying to, think back into my days of dating and the days of dating yet to come.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I don't think I didn't have a good time dating. As a matter of fact, I mean, I had a crush recently and I was
Mm.
just like, ooh, I love this. This is full bodied and kind of wretched.
Yeah.
But also kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like to
Yeah.
be this passionate even about someone or about a
Mhm.
thing that you're sort of wanting and having that sense and that feel of the wanting, but I don't think anyone's ever explained it quite like you did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Cancer. I'm a lover girl. I love love, even when it's fake. Like I love it. And so something I would often do, while I was single is like just like fake love. Like
Mm,
just imagine that I was in love with this person, just have fun. In my
yeah.
mind, I knew that that's not what it was. Like, sometimes you meet someone and like y'all vibing really hard and then like, I mean, that this might not apply to you. But again, I feel like this is like a Cancer girl thing. Like 2 days in, I'm already imagining the wedding, our kids. Like I'm just like in la la land, and I feel like that is so much fun. And it's like if I most of the time I knew, okay, this ain't going nowhere, but Imma just have this like delusional ass fun for a little bit, and then all right, we're done. Next. Like it's like to me, that's dope. That was fun. It was a nice roller coaster. It was a time. I had a time. I had a good time. Bye.
I'm wondering if people have different type of expectations for dating that leads them to feeling like it's trash because it's being treated not like it's fun, not like
Mhm.
it's an adventure, not like it's let me get to know,
Yeah.
but more like I needed to be married 2 years ago and
Yeah.
started working on my family, so everything feels like an emergency.
Yeah. And again, this is like my experience. There have been times when like I knew I'm just having fun here. Like I knew, right?
Mm,
But then there has been times when like I knew I wasn't. And it wasn't just because I knew I wasn't, but it
mm,
was because the other person on the other side communicated that they're not playing. This is not just fun. Like I'm really invested in this. Imma have you meet family members only to turn around and be like, you took this too serious, right? So yeah, that's trash. You know what I'm saying? Like
like, "Oh, are you telling me that I'm mistaken?" And
you
I
you
wonder how much
you
of it is also, like, they want a certain type of relationship, but also don't feel like they can be honest about the type of relationship that they want. And it really just seems that everybody got caught up in various levels of lying about what they're wanting, if only to make either people think they're not pressed or to make people think that they are really on, "I'm trying to be with you forever, make babies and shit like that" type track.
or sometimes too, I feel like when I look back I feel that men who have communicated those things to me, like, "Yeah, I'm trying to have a baby. I wanna get married and, you know, this the amount of children I want, and let's talk about this, let's talk about that." That was their way of disarming me so that they can have a certain experience with me that they were not going to have if I were in the mind frame of just having fun. Okay, like sometimes people will literally show up, lie about their intentions because they want to experience certain levels of you that they know they're not going to experience if you're not in that I'm just having fun mindset.
Mm.
And, those are moments in my life where I've had to learn really, really hard lessons, really, really sad lessons, and I had to cry, and I had to get my 16 carriages. I had to get my 16 carriages on, and, yeah, I think it is because people would just show up and lie, and I feel like if more people would just be honest. Just be honest. You wanna be ethical, non-monogamous? Just say that. Just say that because there are women who actually would like that. But here's the problem. You're not going to come in the door and say that because you know you're not going to have the experience that you truly want with that woman. So you're going to lie to disarm her so that you can be able to have your way and she can't have her way. And that's what makes dating trash to me is when people show up as something other than themselves, and people misrepresent
Mm.
their true intentions, therefore disarming the other person. Now you are stealing time, stealing emotions from that other person that you would not have gotten had you just been honest from day one.
This, all of
Like,
this,
yeah,
because so oh Jesus, Lord have mercy. Okay, so
yeah.
something that came up. There's something that you said about men, specifically said like, "Oh, I want to see you without makeup."
They're still eating me up about that comment when I said, "Yeah, I feel that men who ask, 'Hey, I need to see you with that without that hair. I need to see you without that makeup.'" I do feel that a man like that is trying to strip you. And here is the reality behind that statement, right? So many people have taken that clip, and I knew what I was doing when I put that clip up. I knew it. Like I wanted men to cry in my comments. And that's what I've gotten. If you
Woo-hoo.
oh, get to boohooing, bitch. I'm
Not
sorry. Like, boo-hoo. Yeah, boo-hoo. That clip has like 50,000 comments of men calling me ugly, right? Therefore,
Men who could
pro
never, but I mean, do go on.
50,000 men calling me ugly, therefore proving my point. Because think about it. Why would I say something like that? In what instance would a man come up to me, Jessie Woo, 8 bundles of weave in my hair right now, okay? 20 pounds of makeup from Sephora, right? You see what I'm working with. In what instance would you ask me that? Because you've approached me with all of this, right? I obviously have said something or done something that in your eyes, I should not be audacious enough to say or do or enact.
Mm.
And so now you want to reach for my appearance. Because in your mind, you already thought I was ugly. Let's just keep it a buck. You already thought I was lesser than. You already thought that. And now that you're seeing that, even though you're thinking that, I'm not behaving as if I think that, because from where I stand, girl, I'm the best thing since sliced bread.
And that
But
is where you should stand. That is what look, I wrote a whole book on self-esteem. Self-esteem is not self-taught, and somehow we think it's supposed to be in the hands of others. But meanwhile, part of the reason why I brought up that piece that you said, right? Like this, you didn't want to maintain it, is because it made me wonder whether or not people are dating or if they just want to win. That has been my question. Like, do people just want to win? Because I'm like, to your point, if you want to be in an ethically non-monogamous relationship, you would go to the people who are also interested in being ethically non-monogamous. If you're into someone who, doesn't wear weave, you would go to someone who doesn't wear weave. If you want someone who looks a certain way, behaves a certain way, you would go to them, except what they're doing is going to the ones that don't match the thing that they say that they desire, and then trying to make them change, which makes it feel like it's not actually about dating. It's about exerting power and to see if they can make you give up pieces of yourself so that you can say that you had the honor of being on their arm. So it made me
Ooh.
this. It made me think of power dynamics within the context of relationships and dating. And it made me wonder then, what do people actually desire from your perspective in the dating process? I feel like you gave us a sprinkling, but I want to bring it back. What do you think they want?
wow, I felt my inner shakara just, woo! C'est l'église. You took me to l'église. You took me to church, girl. A lot of times people will not approach the thing that they say they desire because they know that that very thing that they desire does not desire them.
Well,
Go.
mm,
Why are you coming to me? Go to the girl that you desire. Ah, you can't. You can't. You can't. And that's the conversation. How do you obtain the very person that you actually desire? How are you desirable to the person that you actually desire? I remember back in 2023, I think it was 2023, I was at New Birth and I did this Dear Future Wifey podcast. It was live at New Birth and it was a panel. It was a panel of like 3 women, 3 guys, right?
Mhm.
And 2 of the guys are relationship gurus. One was a very well-known actor. And then there was me. There was Dr. Carrie Turner, who is now the wife of Jamal Bryant. They're my pastors. And then there was a dating specialist. Her name is Stacy. I can't remember her last name, but Dr. Stacy. And we were all like asked, what are we desiring? What are we looking for in a partner? Right. And we were all expressing those things. And Dr. Carey did this like soliloquy Or she was talking about, I want a man's man. I want a leader. I want a real head of the household. I want you to have a vision. Like, she went in. And in the comment section, you will see so many people, oh my gosh, she's so loud. She's so this. And while she was giving her soliloquy, I was behind her like, yes, that's what I want. This is what, like, I am amping her up, right? And when it came up to me, I said, I want a gentleman. I want a gentle man, first and foremost, right? Anyway, fast forward to now we're in 2025. Dr. Carey's married. Dr. Stacy's engaged. And I'm about to be, I don't know what's going on. You know, we about to be a year in, but ring-a-ling-a-ling, but we're doing very, very well. My man has publicly talked about how his intentions for me, right? All three of the men on that panel, single. Single. Two of them are relationship gurus, right? One is a well-known actor. All of them single, right? And I wanted to say that because I feel that a lot of times when women will say what we desire, we are often like ridiculed for it. We're dragged for it. Oh, y'all, pick me this, pick me that. And meanwhile, when men say it, oh yeah, yeah, you know, that's a good man right there. That's a good man, Sabina. He gonna get that. He gonna get him a good woman. And it's like women are literally dragged for publicly talking about their desires. Meanwhile, we tend to be the ones more serious about what we desire in our relationships. Like I just said, all three of us are in relationships. The guys aren't. And I think that when it comes to desires, as per my experience, I just really don't know that men really know what they desire in a woman. I just really don't. For the first time, I'm experiencing someone who expressed to me what his desires were at the top before we even got serious and has held me accountable for those desires. And vice versa. I express my desires, he shows up and I'm able to hold him. I don't even have to hold him accountable. He just shows up. And we both desired what we desired and were desirable to what we desired. I feel like a lot of people
You
don't
see that
understand.
you're yoked. I mean, isn't that the saying? Like, you're evenly yoked. It sounds like you stated what you wanted. He stated what he wanted. Do we meet the desires?
Right. Do we meet that? Do we meet those desires? And sometimes those desires are very basic. So maybe we're looking for those desires in very wrong places. Because for me, to be about to be 69 years old and I had never had a gentleman up until this relationship, I was not looking in the right places for a gentle man. Now I'm literally in a relationship where, baby, that man will catch me before I fall. He treats me like a very delicate piece of dishware or what's the stuff, the special plates that your grandma used to put, you can't
Oh,
touch the plates, you know,
I know which place you're talking
or
about.
she or that sofa that your grandma used to put plastic
Plastic
on.
on in that one room that you can't even go in.
That man treats me like that. I'm in that one room. I'm that one sofa that you cannot sit on. And it shouldn't have took me, well, I'm glad. I would happily go through all the mess I went through again if it would lead me back to my man. But when I look back, I'm like, yeah, I was not looking in the right places for a gentle man. I was not looking in the right places, child. I was out here with NFL players. I was out here with other artists, or I'd be out here with this promoter, like it just I have to own that. I have to own that I was out here looking for my desires in the wrong places, in the wrong places. And I think that that's something that a lot of people need to be honest about when it comes to their desires.
It makes me wonder if that's the thing that makes it trash. Like, in addition to
Yeah.
looking in the wrong places or even staying in the wrong relationships, like you already knew, but you stayed, right? Accountability, I recognize, is difficult. And I've had to define it for people because they don't know the difference between responsibility and accountability. Responsibility is task oriented, accountability is outcome oriented. And I'm just like, well, look at the outcome. You may not be at fault, but you did play a role. So the question is, what role did you play in the outcome that you received?
Yeah.
Was the outcome that you even wanted, or was it not? And that's why I asked you about whether or not people are just wanting to win,
Yeah.
because I think that people are keeping their true desire hidden. I
Yeah.
think they're keeping it
Yeah.
quiet. And they are, if whether or not they win or don't win at the outset will depend on, like it will change up whatever narrative they give retroactively
Yeah.
to whatever interaction that they had with whomever they were with.
Mhm.
I'm just like, do people desire power or do they desire partnerships?
I think a lot of people desire power. I think a lot of people desire power. Look at the example I just gave you, right? A lot
Yeah.
of these, like, male relationship gurus, they will use their platforms and, "I'm looking for a wife, and this is what I desire." The whole time, their female followers are their wives. They can sit here and pander to you all day, but it is not hard for a man with power to get the woman that he desires. It is not hard. It don't take years and years, and it don't take, "I've been on my knees since the Lord told me." It don't take that. It don't take that. It don't take that. Okay?
I would imagine then that you would believe or that you would be of the, one band, one sound with the idea that like we're not really having debate over gender roles per se, but rather people are using gender roles to have a conversation about the power they want to have over their partner. Because again, based off what you said, right? If you don't want a shawty that wears makeup and 8 pounds of hair, then you wouldn't look for one. So you would look for someone who is already submissive, not try to teach someone how to be submissive.
Literally. Literally. When you and again, I'm using, like, the male relationship podcasters, right? When you see them in their platforms, they're using often their platforms to condition women without women even understanding this, but they're conditioning women to adopt their views on what men desire. And so now
Really?
you have these women in the comments, "Yeah, mhm, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need to do better. We need to do." That's a way of exerting power. It's a way of exerting now you have hundreds of thousands of women trying to be what these men say they desire. Whole time, you're not really what they desire. They don't desire that. They just desire your coin and your coochie. Please be for real. Like, and then
So
they
basically, you're
desire
saying that they teach you how to be a pick me,
they
and then
teach you
you
how to be
you
a pick
conform
me.
yourself to be a pick me who will still
Yes.
never get picked.
Never get picked, right? And here's the thing, sometimes their views are good. Like I've seen men sometimes, with microphones say certain things and yes, it's sometimes it does make a lot of sense. But
Yeah.
again, why don't you have that? Why don't you have that, sir? And then you, sister, who is in the comment section constantly supporting them and going to their podcast live shows and turning them into rich men. Why don't you have the man that you desire? Why
Mm.
don't you have that?
'Cause they're
It's
married
just
to the narrative. They're not seeking the person.
so again, I just feel like, yes, there's so many examples of people showing up in the dating space,
Mhm.
really not telling the truth.
To
Not t
themselves or to others, it seems. Well, then how
literally.
can we deconstruct some of these, like, digital dating narratives? Because I feel like you also, in a way, have also reconfirmed that the dating pool is not necessarily full of piss.
No, it's not necessarily full of piss. Like my I call him Mr. Easter, but Mr. Easter to me is like an example of a guy who I feel would get passed up all the time. Like, I met that man several times before I actually met that man. He had to remind me, "I met you here, I met you there." It was really just a move of God because I did not see that man till last year, and I had seen him several times before. A lot of times, what we desire is in places we don't even look, and I think that he's a prime example of that. I would not have gone looking for that man. And there's a thing, well, as a woman, you shouldn't go looking for a man. The man should find you. And while I agree with that, I agree with it to a certain extent. To a certain extent. I feel like let me use a biblical example, for
Come on
instance.
with it. I may not currently be practicing religion, but I know some Bible words. Come on, Bridget.
But everybody always talks about, oh, Ruth and Boaz. I want to find my Boaz. I want to find my Boaz. And
Mm,
Boaz found Ruth, yes. But Ruth knew where to go. She knew where to go to be found. And she knew that in the biblical sense because she went where God told her to go. So Ruth was the daughter in law of Naomi. She was one of Naomi's two daughter in laws. Naomi loses her two sons. And by the time she loses her two sons to a tragedy, she's so old she cannot bear any more children. And she tells her daughters-in-law, go back to your families, go back to your countries, go back to where you came from. I ain't got nothing for y'all. I can't have no more sons. I can't give y'all no husbands. And the other daughter-in-law left. Naomi said, no, 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 I will go where you go. Your God will be my God. Your people will be my people. And she did that because God told her that, right? And because she followed God's voice, even so much so that she didn't listen to her mother. She went where she was supposed to go. And because she was obedient, she was found by who she was supposed to be found. And I think that there's a message in that. Even if you're not a Christian,
mm,
sometimes we are in places we have no business being in looking for our Boaz.
mm.
You're not gonna find him in the hookah lounge, girl. You're not gonna find him in the strip club. Like, seldom do those stories really turn into healthy love stories of a couple who stays together until they die. Very seldom do you hear that, right? And so I do think, again, I use that story to talk about the fact that a lot of times we're in the wrong place looking for the right thing. And I feel
Mm.
that that is a way where we can start to deconstruct. I'm not telling you to go down to go to church. I'm not telling you where to go. I tell people all the time, my father was a preacher who also sold crack. Okay.
Gotta have to love the contradictions of man.
Listen, okay? So I have a lot of it like I have a lot of imbalances when it comes to my origin story. I'm never going to tell you that this is where you need to go. But listen to your heart. Listen to your intuition. Listen to yourself. Like, a lot of times we don't listen. We don't take time to really be still and just listen to that small voice that's telling you the truth that you don't want to hear because you're just trying to be out here because you see this person with this Birkin bag, you see that girl with that Chanel bag, so you want to go where she went
So that you can win.
so that you can win instead of finding true love or finding what you truly desire and recognizing that as your win. Just saying.
My goodness.
My Lord today.
I'm taking in what you said because, like, the other piece, like, if we gonna be biblical, I be thinking about that thing, faith without work is dead.
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
is.
the thing is, well, what's your work? What's the part that you're supposed to do? And this is where it always all roads lead back to accountability for me.
Yeah,
All roads lead back to accountability. Why are you where you are looking for who you say you're looking for? Are you trying to win or are you trying to be partnered? Because
yeah,
the way that we move with different energy, it would be different. Like,
yeah.
I remember some years ago, I said it on TikTok. I said something along the lines of the reason why you keep attracting emotionally unavailable people is because you're emotionally unavailable. And the people were not really ready for it. I'm just like, well, like attracts like, my friend. You don't want one. They don't want one. Y'all got together so that both of you can play a game where you see who wins. And as long as that is the unspoken thing that you're seeking, then anything else that you say that you're looking for is moot. I'm like, at this point, I know it's a lie, and I hope you know it's a fucking lie.
Yeah.
Because you're not looking for what you say you're looking for. You just wanted to win.